And a
Hi everyone. This is a live stream. I'm trying the live streams for the first time. I rarely, like a lot of people actually know, I rarely try to edit the videos that I create. Never have I ever had to kind of not publish a video or anything like that. If anything, it's just laziness from me, just waiting until I have to do the thumbnail and I have to do all that. And I'm joined today here by a person that is very near and dear to my heart, my dear brother, I'd like to think of you as one of my best friends, dude. Brian Parker. You remember Brian Parker, the Blazer guy? He's very famous on Stack Overflow, right, Brian?
and yeah, I annoy people on Stack. Yeah,
Aren't you like on the Blazer now? You're
5, I
like
believe.
you're fifth worldwide on the
Yeah,
Blazer.
yeah,
Oh my God,
for answering the questions. Yeah,
man, that's insane. That's insane. So anyway, I'm trying this live thing, and I'm also thinking like, well, this whole live thing is pretty cool. Let's try it out together and see, what happens there. But Brian, why are we meeting today? What's this all about? I think you and I had something in mind,
yeah.
and
There's rumors there's this AI software around it, and probably needs to have the standard wrapped around it.
it's true. Like, I'm pretty sure, all the followers, all the engineers out there have heard about, Chat GPT, OpenAI, and all that. And I wanted to, honestly, I just wanted to see, okay, so there's three things that we want to do here. We want to build a properly designed, test-driven library that you can actually take and build some serious things on top of it, and not have to worry about, well, is this library solid? Can I trust it? I want to build a .NET library for OpenAI. I know there's a bunch out there. I looked at the code. A lot of that code could use a little bit of testing and a little bit of, exception handling, especially if you're going to build something important on top of it. But also at the same time, Brian and I are kind of learning. We're trying to learn, how this system works. We're trying to learn how OpenAI works. And, there's no better way than learning how this thing works, more than just kind of literally just go in, hands on, stop reading documentation, just you go get your hands dirty, start building things. And what's better than learning and actually helping other engineers kind of build on top of what you're learning? I think that would be a pretty good deal, don't you think? Pretty good
Yeah,
deal.
yep.
So go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm already thinking miles ahead, and I'm wondering what we're going to target. Whether we're going to target ChatGDP or just target a like we could bring in other forms of AI into the software, not just a particular brand.
Yep, I'm thinking
And even with
literally.
ChatGPT, you can get it direct from them, or you can get it from Azure. So it's going to have to be all configurable and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly. And honestly, I'm thinking something to the effect of, well, we talked about standardized provider abstraction, right? We want to kind of, create, a library that you can plug and play into any artificial intelligence provider, right? So look how far I'm going here, right? We could start with OpenAI, right? I don't want to over engineer it. We have a horrible habit of doing something like that, but, I can start with something as simple as, just OpenAI,
Mm-hmm.
give people a proper library that they can build on top of it. And then maybe later on we can build the intelligence.net or AI, excuse me,
Yep.
AI.net that kind of help you do that. I think that would be a great advantage. Okay, so so this is a brand new project, right? Let's create a GitHub kind of repository for it, and let's see how far this journey goes. What do you think about that? Usually, this is one of these expedited projects that I want to get off the ground really fast because I know there's a lot of development happening in there. There's a lot of people already building on top of this. It would be really, really important to kind of, get people to, have something that they can trust. To be honest with you, like from my own personal experience, just figuring out, how to use ChatGPT or OpenAI in .NET, it took me a while, just trying
Mm-hmm.
all the different libraries. And then I got angry. I said to myself, okay, then fine, I'll just create my own. Let's just do that. So let's do that. OpenAI.NET. So here is this library, and this is a standard compliant .NET library for OpenAI. Uh, yeah, just really all that it is. And here's a README. Here is well, I don't need Azure pipelines. I'm gonna need some, and we're gonna make it MIT licensed because we want everybody to be able to copy
Mhm.
it, work with it. We want people to be able to learn from it and all that good stuff. And then git ignore Visual Studio, probably Visual Studio. There you go. And then here's a repository, just like that. So here's the thing that I want to kind of press on. I don't know if it created it in private mode by default or
Yeah,
not.
private is default.
Private is default, right? So let's make
Yeah,
it public. Let's see here. Change visibility. No, no, no. The repository is kind of no. It's public already.
it must
Okay,
remember your last setting.
that's right. Let me add you there. I need give me 1 second. I need to find my phone. 1 second. I still can hear you. I still can see you, and you're on your
Yep.
own in a live stream, Brian.
Oh,
In a live stream. What's gonna happen now? So okay.
do I have to start dancing?
Let's see here. So 80, approve. Great. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it just should kind of let me in. And Brian, let me add you in. Are you still Brian Parker,
Brian
Australia?
L. Brian L. Parker. Put an L in between. Yeah, that's
There
me.
you are. Okay. So the one thing that I really want to capture here, as usual with these projects, is yes, I just want people to see how I start new projects, and how I do this. You probably saw this multiple times, but it actually continues to evolve. Like it's not the exact same way every single time. There's always a new way or a new mechanism that we use to kind of, continue to start new projects in a better way, right? So this time, my dear friend, we want to open up that project area, right? So I want to create one of these. I'm going to say new project, and I'm going to go and just create a new project. So what is that? Board. Yeah, I like the board. What is team backlog? Backlog ready in progress. Ooh, I like this even more. What is this? Iterations. Look at all these different templates, that people have. That's fantastic. Huh. Okay, let's do that. Let's do this one. So there's like pending or in progress, and here's the feature update, and here's who's working on it and which iteration is taking it. It's a great opportunity to show people the whole agile process as well. That's pretty neat. Okay, let's start this way. So here's create, here to do, in progress, and done, right? And usually what I actually do is that I add another tab in here that's called testing.
Hmm.
Testing. Right? So there's this thing in here. Can I move it? Yes, I can. Cool. Can I give it a color just like the others? Edit details. This thing would be yellow. Yellow. So, and then done would be green. I care about this nonsense. I know. I know. Green, yellow, and then maybe blue in here. Blue, blue, blue. And maybe this is red, meaning in progress. We're on, we're recording, we're going. Red, yellow, green, something like that. And the first item that we have is just really understand, and I'm just going to create iterations, like multiple iterations like this, so I can just see what's going on in our project. But I'm going to create the first item, which is documentation, right? What is it? Actually, infrastructure, initialize OpenAI.net. So that's the first thing I want to do. I want to initialize OpenAI.net. I want to initialize the main library, the main project. I also want to initialize the testing for that project. I want to initialize the pipelines for that project. So because it's a library, we just need 3 projects, right? So the actual project, the test project, maybe we can do acceptance tests at some point in time, maybe.
Yep.
And we can use something like wire mock or something like that, but we can also add in another feature, something like what do you call it, the infrastructure and all that. So let's just do this. So okay, we have a repository in here. Oops, that's too far. Let's go back here. Come on. What happened? There it is. Let me go to the project. Here's the project. And I'm going to add a bunch of things like initialize or is infra, initialize OpenAI.net uh, unit test project. And we also want to initialize infra, initialize OpenAI.net acceptance test project. Acceptance tests for libraries are super easy. They're the easiest one of them all. And then what else do I want? I want infra, initialize pipelines project. There is another one, OpenAI.net pipelines project. So we got the pipelines unit acceptance test and then the actual library. I
Yep.
think that's a good. Let's take up the next one in here and let's see here. Convert into an issue. Ooh, I love this a lot. And then OpenAI. Here you go. Look, I can convert these little tasks into issues. See, I'm learning as we go. It's a
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool thing. And then let's convert the rest of these as well. So this is convert to issue. It would be nice if I just remembered the project that we're working on. There's probably a way to do it. There's probably a way to do it. And convert to issue. So OpenAI like this.
There's an engineer watching this shaking their head saying, do it this way.
Actually, this thing tells you how many people are watching. Like, there's like 3 people. I don't know if it's visible on your side, but
No.
it's definitely it's probably a good idea to share that with the world, don't you think? Let me share. See, I don't do live. I just record and just toss it up there. Let's see where I can find this thing. Oh, there it is. There it is. Great. So, oh my God, now I'm just watching myself. It's just gonna go on and on forever. So, okay, I just want to make sure that people can chat. Yeah, people can chat with us, but also I want to share this. So let me go on Twitter and just tell people going live or starting OpenAI.net project. I'm gonna do this. See, the problem when you do .NET, Twitter does this crazy thing. See what it does? It does
Mhm.
this crazy thing with anyway, I think this is the right one. Here we go. And that should publish it, I think. Yeah, there it is. Okay, great. We have it. It's fantastic. Okay, let's go back to this. People can also watch the recording later. That can also happen. Okay, we have these issues. Let's go to the actual project. So let's go to the repositories and then let's go to OpenAI. Here it is. And then I'm going to open this in Visual Studio. Let's do that. OpenAI. And Brian, you should also kind of clone that little repository on your side. As
I'm
I'm gonna,
I'm
uh,
cloning it as you speak.
as I speak. Nice. Thank you, sir. And I'm gonna increase also
Yep.
the visibility. Yeah, I'm gonna increase the ratio on my screen just so people can see. Uh, so scale.
175 you normally
Yeah, 175, 150. I usually do 150, but 175 should do the trick as well. Yeah, I think so.
Mm.
Okay, let's see here. Oh wow, that's really huge. Okay, so let me go back here. We have a visitor. Hey, nobody. His name is nobody, or her name is nobody. Okay, let's do this. Let's create a new project. So here's one of these things that always kind of, had me wondering, can I actually start just a new project from here? It wouldn't let you. I have to go find the Explorer. I think there's something called .NET Initialize, right? And you basically go and say, okay, .NET Initialize. Um, um, Uh, yeah. So nobody's asking, how do I show people? Oh, look at this. Brian, do you see the screen? I can show people's kind of comments. Is it about teaser trailer OpenAI? Well, sort of. Yes and no. I'm building the library that people would use to interface with OpenAI without having to kind of build their own clients every single time to communicate with that API. The series about the OpenAI end to end, that's another series that talks about fundamentally the theory and all that. I'm just building a library live, with people that I appreciate and love and I like to work with, such as this gentleman here. Okay, this is cool. This live thing is pretty cool, I think. Okay, let's initialize a project then. I'm just gonna go and create a new project, new project solution, and we want it to be. Should we do it in .NET 8, Brian?
No, I don't think so.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we should even target 7. Should we target 6 because it's stable?
Do you want to target 6? I don't mind. I'm okay with
No.
that. I mean, I know that Christo will come in and say, "Hey, dude, I'm trying to catch up with," Christo. The beautiful thing about Christo is that he'll come in and say, um, "Hey, I'm trying to keep up with this, right? And what's going on here? What gives, right?" Okay, so okay, OpenAI.
My only thoughts is if somebody's trying to use this in a .6 in 6 library in a 6 application, they can't use a 7 if we target 7. So is that right?
Yeah, and 6 is long-term support too. I'll
That's my
do it. I'll,
thoughts. Yeah.
I'll do it in .NET 6, long-term
Yeah.
support. The upgrade is not going to be a problem. In fact, actually, it's just a great way to kind of find an excuse to kind of, tell people, hey, here's the project and whatnot. Okay, let's go back to the project here. Here we go. I know it put it in the wrong place. I know that for a fact.
To be honest, when I did my own prototype, I did it in 7. So, but I thought about this and I thought maybe we should be targeting 6.
I'm okay with that. I think that's fine too. Let's disable that, and then we're gonna go here. Yeah, the actual library itself, like the code itself is there's nothing there. I'm just gonna put a bunch of folders. I'm gonna say, okay, that here I initialized, this project. The other thing that I really want to do is, let's see here. We're gonna use this whole .NET assembly friend thing, so we can make some certain things visible to only the unit test project, but not visible to everything else, right?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of that since you showed me. Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Okay, so what do I want to do here? I just want to find the copyrights notice for this. Let me find that good-hearted engineers from OSSS, and I'm just gonna ship that out. I think that should take care of that. That should be very, very straightforward. Let's see here. Um, yep, the coalition of the good-hearted engineers right there, right?
How
So
much of the OpenAI are we going to target? We're going to target the completions, the
the
graphics.
images, everything. I want to do
Yep.
everything. I want
Yep.
to I want to give people, honestly, I just want to give people a one-stop shop for all things
Mm,
OpenAI. Really,
yep.
that's really all I care about, and hopefully we'll be successful in doing something like that. Okay. All right. So this is that. I'm even going to take this class. I'm just going to throw this away. I'm just going to say here you basically have brokers, you have services
And models.
and models and clients, right? That's the exposure layer for a library, right? So
Hmm.
models, and then there is the exposure layer. So I'm just going to say clients. Okay. One thing I'm not super excited about. Hey, Chaudhry, um, first last say you making a Chat GPT clone. Yeah, I'm just building a .NET library on top of Chat GPT. So basically, if you want to go and actually pull out a .NET library that's actually reliable, it's test driven, we're not rushing it out. We're just building it properly. So that's really what I'm doing first last. And then Binod, hi right back at you. Okay, so okay, that's one part. Let me take this whole thing And I never ever, you know what, Brian, for the life of me, I never ever get it right when it comes to creating a new project and then dropping the, you know, whatchamacallit, the whole the project in the right destination, the right folder. But here we are. I think I figured it out. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. So, okay, let me close this. We don't need this anymore. Let's open this guy because you're going to be doing the infrastructure. And for the people watching, if you're starting a new project, this is how I start my new projects, right? There's a bunch of things, you know, that you can follow, and you know, I'm just going to drop the links for the sprint, basically. What are the tasks that we need to work on to get something like that out the door? I'm just starting my project here, Brian, just in a second. Let's go to town. Here we go. And oh, I don't think it saved the stuff that I wanted it to save. I think I forgot to save in there. So here we go. So we need, let's do this one more time. Just one more time. Models. Oh, it's already there, but it's not sharing it. Cool. And this happens, and then you have to display like this, and you say include in the project. So where is that? There's this, there is this, and there's brokers, include, and there's clients. And by the way, I think, I don't know how they solved this on GitHub, but Linux, which is what's running the backend of GitHub for the most part, doesn't even understand, you know, the idea of folders. Like the file name is the entire directory, if I understand this correctly. You know, I know there's probably some gurus out there to kind of correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, so I'm creating users, Hassan, Habib, infra, initialize chat, OpenAI core. So this core library is basically the one. And then here is how we commit. So infra initialize OpenAI core. Brian, get ready because you're gonna finish the unit test part after I push this one. So let's see. Let's create a pull request. This is for the most part, this is really what I like to do. Like the out like the outcome of anything that we do is great, but I enjoy the process itself. The process itself is really, really fun. So okay, let's do an issue here. The issue is initialize pipeline project acceptance test this guy. So this is closes this issue. So if I'm typing it this way, it should just know that once this pull request is merged, you know, it should kind of automatically attach the issue, which it did right here. I've been playing with Jira these days a little bit, and Jira is forcing you to rename your branch name to the issue name. So if you're using Bitbucket with Jira, you don't have the flexibility to name your branch name whatever you want. It has to start with the issue ID. How crazy is that? I don't like that at all. I'm not a big fan of that at all. You couldn't pay me enough money to do that. But sometimes you're working with customers and stuff like that, so you know you have to do what you have to do. But okay, so here is all of this. This is great. See, it didn't recognize the folders, and that's okay. I'm gonna merge this. Okay, sir, go ahead. Initialize your side of the world. We want a project that's called openai.net.test.unit.
Okay, so I've got to press, been a while since I did this, Hassan.
Yeah.
So I've got to click present,
Yes, sir.
share screen.
Just make sure you share the right screen.
Yeah, I've got three open at the moment, so
Right.
that's why I'm looking sideways if people are wondering on the camera.
Brian, this is a live stream. I will not be able to edit this. Once it's out, it's out. Not that I ever edit anything ever. Like I actually don't edit anything I do. Okay,
Right.
sir. Pull latest from there. It should give you the. Oh, you do pull. I usually do sync, but sync is dangerous because sync is gonna do something worse. It's gonna push and pull. All right, double click on that SLN and let's create a new branch. Let's go to town.
Been a while. Uh,
But
I'm just forgetting how to create a branch. I'm just
so
a
it's
bit stage struck with the camera. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Oh, brother, I know. Just so you know, I totally understand. I know that you are, kind of. So I didn't even. Oh, we're working with 6 because it's long-term support, first last. But if we want to upgrade it to .NET 7, it'll be easy. In fact, actually, I wanted to do it in 8, but that means that nobody will be able to use it. So we'll start with 6, and then maybe we'll upgrade it at some point. See, Brian,
Infra?
yeah, infra dash unit test initialize. No, infra and then slash. What is it? Yeah, dash with no spaces. Yep,
Yep.
dash and then initialize.
ZE.
For those of you who don't get the joke, Brian is from Australia, of course, so he does S, instead of Z. That's okay.
Yeah,
I
we
know it's fine.
we actually use English over here.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I'm being a bit cheeky.
You're fine.
Um,
You're fine. And then initialize unit test project.
yeah,
So first last is saying, but I wanted to see the record feature. Well, is there a place for us to use records in here? I think there might be. What do you think, Brian? I think there is probably a potential there that we can uh
saying that I've got an invalid character. What have I got?
unit test infrastructure. Do you put a space in there? Brian L.
Oh,
Park. Is it a space at the beginning?
yeah.
That's what
No?
it no. What about the end? Maybe there's a space at the end or something.
Yeah, thanks.
You'd think whoever is developing this box should just trim that for us. Give
Yeah,
give the rest of the world a favor.
being an input and all, yes.
So first, last, going back to your question, yeah, probably we'll upgrade to .NET 7 or even 8 to kind of play around. But we're starting with this one, and then we'll upgrade it. It's not a big deal.
So,
Yep. No project at the solution level, and let's do it.
now you
So
normally just create a class library, don't you?
no, it's just XUnit. So do you see the XUnit project on the left? Yeah, there it is. And then let's call it a hi Divyesh Bandari. I hope I'm saying your name right. Forgive me if I'm not. So yeah, openai.net.tests.unit.
You good with that?
.net. So it's openai.net.test.unit. Why did I call it .net like that?
Mm-hmm.
Make the net all uppercase, please, Brian.
Yep.
Just for those of you who are watching, this is what pair programming looks like. Is someone acting and someone kind of, navigating. Yep.
Being a puppet.
Okay, sir, let's go.
We're good with 6? Yep.
Yeah, let's go. For now. Bam. Let's modify our project. Let's take away that implicit usings and all that kind of stuff. I don't care about any of these things. Honestly,
No.
it's distracting. Look. Do you see this little file that says usings? I don't know what to say about that. Where do you stand on this? I don't know. I haven't asked you. I haven't asked you yet about this part.
This is the global usings, is it?
Yeah.
Mm. I don't like global usings, but I do like the you disable both
I'll
of them.
check.
Yeah, you disable both of them. I only disable the
Just the implicit
implicit.
usings.
Yes,
Mhm.
but
And what is
I'm happy.
all that stuff that it just added in there? It added a whole bunch of things over there. Disable. Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you about the whole nullable thing. That's actually a good thing to kind of look at. Um, I got a lot of hate on Twitter when I said disable, and someone put in a tag in there that said fun disable. You're just kind of telling me, dude, what do you? I think the guy is from I don't know. It's not Sync Fusion. It's the other folks, the folks that do the writer. What are they called? The IntelliJ folks? Brainstorm, something like that.
Jet brains.
Yeah, JetBrains.
Yep,
JetBrains. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, he works there and he left that comment. He was like, well, you're disabling fun as well. You may as well. All right, let's put a let's put a copyright notice in there, and let's put should be true, which is basically a passing test by
You
default.
deleted the file with the copyright notice in it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Let me send it to you here in the chat. So so for the people watching, we also have a private chat where we tell people things in secret while the thing is going. Okay, here I just sent it to you. How crazy is that? Even when you're initializing a project, the actual project actually have some actions in it is usually the unit test project. That's pretty sweet.
Hey, I'm not saying that. Where'd you send it to me?
It's in
Oh, yep. No worries. I'm looking in Discord, not in. Yep.
I could send it on Discord. That's fine
No,
too.
I've got it. I've grabbed it.
And of course, for the people watching, if you haven't heard about our Discord channel yet, please go and visit our Discord channel. I'll drop the link here in
That
the
worked.
chat. Uh, this is our Discord channel. Look, fantastic. If you don't use Discord, use Discord. It's really great. There's a lot of it's the IRC of the modern day and age. It's the IRC of the modern day and age. So, do you remember IRC, Brian? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember IRC. It was the flower icon that rotated around.
I mean, technically, it's still alive. It's just that the vast majority of software engineers, at least the one that I know of, they just don't use it anymore. They don't care.
Yeah, IRC was killed by Skype, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, Skype rooms, Skype podcasts, and stuff like that. Yeah, that's right. Okay, my friend, let's do this. Let's go to um, let's write a passing test just so we can test our pipelines. So instead of test one, just type in there should be true, and then fat arrow that baby and just do assert true, and that's it.
Yeah. Is that right? Yep.
Yeah, that looks about yeah. So that's just the name, and then just type in there assert dot true, assert equal.
What?
No. Just type assert. Just assert.
Ah, yeah.
Assert and then dot and then true. Like takeaway should be true completely because we don't have fluent assertions yet, right?
Yep.
So take away this and then assert dot and then true. Yep, and inside of it, just type in value colon true. Value is basically the thing
The
that will
parameter. Yeah.
yeah, and then true. Lowercase t. Done. Isn't it
Doesn't like
value?
that.
What is
No.
it? What's it called?
Condition.
Condition. Okay, great. Ha!
See how I double clicked on that?
Yes, sir. How did you enable that somewhere in Visual Studio, or
Mm,
is it just native? Okay.
I think it's
Okay, yeah.
native now, but I don't like it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It just sometimes it throws the word in where it should be, but other times it just seems to randomly place it anywhere in your code. And didn't like
Is
it at
there a
all.
way you can make it like, okay, let's rename the class to say delete me. That's one. But
Yeah.
also, is there a way you can configure the project not to have this namespace per file thing? Do you see? It took away our scope for the
Ah,
name.
that's me. That's my defaults. So yeah, you want this. Yeah.
I wonder if it will nice. I didn't know you could do that. Interesting. Okay, now the real question here is delete that usings file, that using.cs. Let's see this guy kind of go crazy. So this should error out now because you are using some libraries. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And then control period, and then I think fundamentally I think one of the biggest reasons I'm opposed to this idea of implicit usings, the entire engineering standard is all about encapsulating, all the things related to one thing in one place. So one service, all their exceptions in one place. And now this idea, it doesn't work for enterprise applications. It gets complicated so fast, so soon. You wouldn't even know what hit you.
Yep. I just wish there was a way in Visual Studio is when you disable and enable that, it automatically did the usings for you
Yep.
instead of having to go back through all your code and putting in and fixing all the usings.
Right. So here's a question. Do you see the question? What do you think, Brian? Divyesh Bandari says, there are already two similar repositories packages available today. Why create a new one which will be exactly the same? What do you think?
Yeah. Do you trust them? We don't. To be
So,
quite honest,
so,
let's be
so
blatant.
exactly, like Divyesh, if you look at the existing libraries, they're not test driven. There's no testing there. And the structure of the project itself, it feels like it's rushed out. I'll take your screen for a second there,
Yep.
Brian, just to kind of
Yep.
show Divyesh
People
what I'm
seem to be
talking.
rushing just to get their product out to be the first on the block. To
Exactly. This
yeah.
is this idea here. Like if I type OpenAI, I think, or something like that. Okay, let's pick up the biggest one, right? This is one of the biggest ones, OpenAI, right here. If you go on to the source repository in here, this one is from 2020. What happened to this one? Deprecated. Let's go here. So check this out. Look, there's no services. It's a rushed out kind of non-structured kind of project. And if you go inside this one, look, we have certain standards and standardization. Like you can't run these tests. These are not even unit tests. This is an acceptance test that's running end to end because it's asking you for your key in here. So this is not test driven. This wasn't actually built according to the principles and the values that we live and die by, which is the engineering standard. And for those who are not familiar with this, you should really, really check out the free open source book here. It's called The Standard. And it basically draws the line of, what is the engineering standard, why you should build your software according to that and all that. I looked at other libraries as well, Divyesh. Like I looked at Forge OpenAI, which is also 44,000 downloads or 45,000 downloads, about 2,000 per day. Went to the source repository, and to my shock, this one doesn't have any tests at all. Right? Do you trust that? I'm not trying to kind of put down someone else's work. Please understand that. What I'm trying to say here is that there is certain principles and guidelines that we need to follow when we're building something as big and as important as this. Because usually what happens, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, what people do usually is that they go and say, okay, we found this open source library, let's use it and build a whole world on top of it. But the library itself is not stable. And
Mm-hmm.
because the library is not stable, it's not test driven, you can't maintain it, it's hard for you to contribute to it, it becomes extremely hard to work with these things. Go
The
ahead.
developer can come along and make breaking changes, and he won't even know what he's broken. Yep.
Why is it important? That's a
Mm-hmm.
huge point. Why is it important that we're writing it test driven? It's because if a change happened and it gets merged and there's no test that say, oh, this is broken, it's gonna just do that ripple effect. It'll just break everything else, right? So anyway, what we're trying to say is that there are certain guidelines and standards that we like to build these libraries according to, and it doesn't seem that what's offered out there meets that. Okay,
I'm
let's
good.
run the test. So go to test and then run. Hmm, here we go. Like, see, before we even write one line of code, we're already creating a test project.
Where is my test screen?
Click, click, click test again,
Yeah.
and then it should say Test Explorer, the second to the last. Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Passed.
And just for the people kind of forking the standard book, you can also, if you look on the right, I'll take your screen again real quick, Brian, just to kind of explain to people. If you look at the on the right here in the release area, if you click on the release, you will find here you can download it as a PDF. So you can have the entire standard as a PDF right here. I'll put the link here as well, just so people kind of, because I click too fast. Someone told me this. Said, stop using shortcuts, while you're showing us something. We don't know what you're clicking on the screen. See, Brian, this is something that I wasn't even aware of, right? That
Mm.
you're like it's something that I completely, it's didn't dawn on me at all that when I'm doing a demo, it's actually discouraged to use these shortcuts because if I do, the person watching doesn't know what I'm clicking on. They have
Yes.
no idea.
Why is my voice sound a bit weird? It's
No, no,
echoing.
I can hear you okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's weird.
you probably have the stream setting somewhere. That's why you're hearing yourself.
No, it wasn't before.
Yeah,
Mhm.
interesting. Okay, what's first last saying? npm config edit. npm config edit. What's that? First last. I know what you're trying to do like that. You're using the npm package manager, but old company proxy. All right, you're gonna have to explain. I don't know what you're saying. Okay, so you have this test going. Great. Let's make a commit, my dear friend.
Uh, lost. There we go.
There you go. And you are already in a branch, so you're just gonna type infra all uppercase,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna say initialize.
Use yeah.
Oh, first last says I had an HTTPS proxy I forgot about. Okay, gotcha. Initialize unit test
Yeah.
project.
Now, do you? Yep, we good with that.
Even Divyesh is saying your voice is echoing. Why is it not echoing for me? Brian, do you wanna drop and join? Maybe
I don't know. Is it still echoing? It's not echoing now.
it's
I
not
can't.
echoing for me. Divyesh, please confirm. People watching us, we have
I
10
think
of a whole 10 of people. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I had the YouTube video not open, but I was on YouTube on your
Mm.
page. I'm wondering if it was
It probably started the live stream. That's why.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, he's saying it's normal now. Cool.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Because what you're pushing is basically a title, make the first letter of every word uppercase and take away the period at the end.
Yep.
Martin says it's normal. Okay, thank you, Martin. Let's go to town.
Now, just push that. Yep.
Yeah, let's do it. You can go to the thing at the very bottom. Do you see that 1/0 bottom in the middle of
Oh,
your
yeah. Yep.
on the
Yep.
left?
Yep.
Yeah.
And just hit push. Yep.
Usually, that little button it has a drop down, and I could just
Yeah.
say, yeah.
You commit and push. Yeah, I missed it.
Okay, sir. Create a pull request. If you scroll up on the top right, you'll see a little window. Scroll down a
Yep.
little. Yeah, create that guy. And don't forget to reference the issue, and don't forget to show people how we
Yeah.
build a chat GPT OpenAI.NET library. Test driven by the book. We play by the book. Are we rushing? I'm not rushing anything. Are you rushing anything?
No, I'm just nervous. How do we? I forget. How do we link
So
in
type
the
this.
record?
Just type this closes and then do a hash. So type in the leave comment area in the
Oh,
description.
yep. Yep.
Type closes with uppercase C.
And hash. Whoops.
And then hash. Take a space after closes. And then do hash again because it should give you like a drop down. There you go.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then we want initialize unit test project. My man, that's it. Create pull request. I'll take a look at the pull requests and we're going great. We're initializing the whole project, man. All right, I'm gonna take a look at your window here. So, a question for the people watching us. What do you think about pair programming so far, especially the ones that have been following us from the beginning? This is how we pair. Imagine if you go to work every day and you are working with people that are allocating specific time, of their day. So instead of you going and asking people for favors to help you out with a problem, it becomes fundamentally a part of their day to actually sit down and get the task done with you. We really honor these principles. They're very important because it makes engineers happy. You get to learn, now, we don't have a single point of failure. We don't have saviors on the team that all know all the answers. These practices are super important. They're more important to me than the product itself, but the product is also fun. Right, right, Brian? I think the product is fun.
Mm.
So, okay, we have all that. What were you going to say? Were you going to say
No,
something?
no, I'm good.
Okay, so both of these issues are closed, right? So that means we have two more. So we close two and we have two more. Okay, let me do the pipeline one. The
Hmm.
pipeline one is mainly, will rely mainly on writing, and guys, watch this because you're gonna love this part. This is C# code that I'm going to be writing, and this C# code is going to generate the XML, or sorry, the YAML that will create the pipeline. How cool is that? It's pretty cool, right? Let's do that together. So I'm gonna go back to Visual Studio here. You know what, Brian? All in all things considered, I think this whole live streaming thing is just like recording, except
It
that
is.
people are actually talking to us.
Makes no difference. Makes no difference to you because you don't edit.
That's right. I don't edit. I don't care. It's okay. Either way is fine. Okay, let me undo this. Am I in the right place? I think I am. I think I am. So main, and then pull latest and greatest. So question for people as well, is the screen too small? Are you able to see what's going on? Do you want me to increase the font a little bit? Talk to me, people. Tell me what's going on with you. Here we go. Yeah, it looks pretty sweet. Okay. I want to run all the tests just to make sure I have the right stuff. What do you think about that? Test Explorer. Here we go. All right. Why is this guy freaking out? It's saying .NET SDK. Let's see. Brian, is there anything that is load project dependencies? Let's see if it errors out for whatever reason. Because I see this little, do you see that little warning on the
Mm.
right? Okay. But I'm not able to see the build action. Why is that? That's weird. Let me close this whole thing and start over. That's also because we're using a whole lot of like um, preview version.
I'm using the standard version of Visual Studio at the moment.
Oh,
Um,
really? Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay, let me share my screen back. Yeah, sometimes with the preview versions, you're gonna run into all kinds of things because you're a guinea pig, basically, but you're testing things that are fundamentally unstable. Okay, Bandari says it's helpful and especially attracts people who haven't contributed yet to open source guides and encourages them to contribute to, oh yeah, you're gonna learn a whole lot, dude. You have no idea. There's a lot of practices that I feel I haven't been able to kind of get all the way out yet, but we will do these live streams and do whatever we can to teach people. We'll make our parents proud. What do you think about that, Brian? Okay.
My parents are that old. They look at me and say, well, "I don't even know what you're talking about." You can see as soon as I start talking about what I do, their eyes start rolling.
Okay, what do we have? We have a couple of things. Chaudhry says, can you guys Dockerize it? Maybe in the next session. Why? Well, let me ask you why. Why do we need to Dockerize it? I mean, we're not going to deploy it in a cloud. Dockerization usually for APIs that you want to scale out when you deploy in a cloud. This is just an SDK. It's a library. Why do you need to Dockerize it? While Chaudhry is answering that one, uh, Bandari says you can move your video to downsides over screen. So downside, yeah, we can do that. Let's see here. Like this. I don't know if that helps. What do you think? I think that's fine too. We
Mm,
don't care.
that's
I
actually
mean,
not a bad tip.
all right, let's do this. So I want to create a new project in here. it's really just a console application. So that's the first shocker, console application. And it's openai.net.infrastructure.build. So what the heck is that, right? This project is going to help us go ahead and, oh God, I don't know if our infrastructure library is ported to .NET 6 or not. I know that Chris Dutui was telling me a whole lot about that, but let me just introduce people watching to this, and this is a great way to kind of see how a whole project starts from scratch. So for the people watching, there is a little project that we built a while back, and this project kind of helps us. I think we called it Azure DevOps. What did we call it, Brian? The project that builds projects. I forgot.
I don't
Um,
know. I normally go to one of your repos and just steal it.
so we have RESTful Sense. We have it's called, oh my God, why do I not remember it? Well, even if I don't remember it, the good news is that I can just go to any existing project like this
And steal it.
and steal it. Literally just go. So we have infrastructure built in here, and I just need to go find the library name. So I created a library and I forgot what it is. A.NET. So what does A.NET do? It helps you write C# code, and the C# code gets converted to YAML that runs the build in the pipeline. Why do you need that? So when people open up a pull request, it kicks off the build, the tests and all that, so you know whether the code is healthy or not, right? And I have no idea why the entity framework is here. Honestly, I have no idea why we put that in there. But let's just go to A.NET and see. I know for a fact A.NET is a homegrown. The community has grown this library. We worked on it for a long time. There it is. It has 24,000 downloads, and it basically helps you just write C# code, in a nicer way. So 8,000 downloads the last 8 months. We haven't updated it much. Should probably go visit it and see what we can do to bring it up to speed. Huge thing that's running
I,
on
I,
.NET
I
7.
got a question for you.
Go.
Documentation for it.
Oh, the documentation. Let's see. Source. Usually I try to leave yeah, there's documentation. There you go.
Hmm.
I try to clean these up real well. See, you're creating a .NET task. Excuse me, Brian. And the .NET task, basically, you're just writing an object, and this object gets generated into a YAML file. And this YAML file basically becomes, this component that kind of generates. We'll do it together in a second. Let's go there and do it together. Let's do it together. So here's OpenAI, and here's my program, and I need to go pull. Now, I know that I put this in .NET 6, so I hope that it works. A.NET.
I'm pretty
Should
sure it
be,
does.
should be backwards compatible, right? I think. Not compatible with .NET 6. Sorry, Brian. We are forced to go to
mm,
the next level. So I'm
it's only
gonna,
for this particular project within the solution because it only outputs a
well,
oh yeah,
what it builds the whole project. So if you're targeting different frameworks, it becomes a little problematic.
okay.
Okay, fine. We'll go to .NET 7. I don't know, was it Bandari or someone else who said, well, I want you to see how you're going to do records and stuff. Well, now we're going to do it, I guess. So .NET 7 here and .NET 7 here. 7. Yeah, probably Crystal will be like, I told you so.
I got
Uh,
another question for you. In a
go.
moment, we're going to be asking this to do the test for us. Now, do we do the test in debug mode or do we do it in release mode? I've noticed this flaw in a lot of your solutions.
That's a hard question. Usually it runs in,
Debug mode.
I want to say debug mode
Mm.
because it's the pipeline and I want it to spit out all day. It should, okay. It should run in debug mode. I don't know if I'm running it in debug mode.
You are. I was just wondering about that, whether the code should be tested in release or debug.
Ah, probably debug. You should probably do both. One for
Mm.
debug to catch things and one for release before you actually release it. I'm assuming.
Mm.
So that's what I would go with. Oops.
Because
All right, we need to do
normally
it.
it doesn't make a difference, but there are these edge cases.
True. Okay, so what do we want to do here? Just to show people what we're really doing here. This project here, we're basically gonna be building a thing that generates pipelines, which is really cool, right? Because this thing that generates pipelines, it'll basically help us, kind of describe what we expect, the pipeline to look like. So let me just show you here. So var a.net client equal new a.net client, I think, something like that. Here we go. But did I not? Oh, I didn't bring the library because I'm still a rejected me first, right? So I need to get it back. A.net. Here we go. Create, generate. Cool. And then I can go back here and say a.net client. There you go. So that's a.net client. So I'm just creating a client, and then I'm creating a pipeline. So it's GitHub pipeline, new GitHub pipeline. Now watch this. All of this is C#. I'm not doing anything that's out of the ordinary. I want to call my pipeline a name. So I don't know, call it OpenAI.net build. You can name it whatever you want. And then on events, what is this on events thing? It basically says, when do you want this pipeline to kick off? You better watch this because you're not going to watch this. You're not going to see this anywhere. This is literally a homegrown library built for software engineers, .NET engineers, to kind of be able to kind of not have to learn YAML, right? Because YAML is crazy, and this is just helping you not have to learn YAML. So this is on events. I'm basically saying kick off this build on push. So every time a new thing that gets merged, right? That's the push events. Go ahead and target that for this particular branch. The branch here would be a list, and that branch would be. Do we have main or master? I don't know. I usually get these wrong. Brian, can you check real quick? Are we
Yep.
on main or master? Is it main? Is it main?
Main. Yep.
Cool. Just to explain people what's happening here, if you catch this one in and of itself is gold. It's going to change how you think about infrastructure for a long time. If you like this approach, we're basically going and saying, I want my pipeline to kick off when a new code is the event of new code being pushed into that main branch. So when a main branch gets new code, kick off that pipeline. Great. But that's not enough. I have another place where I want this to happen, which is on pull request. So like this, pull request, right? And this is new pull request event. Again, this library is super documented. Go and try it out. Super cool. And I'm going to put the link in there for people watching. And this is also main. So what does that mean? Even before the code gets merged into main, and there's a new pull request that just opened up, go ahead and kick off, the build so we can verify that this has actually happened. Now, in order for us to be able to run the test for this, we need a bunch of steps. We call it jobs. Let's do this together. So on events is over. We don't need on events anymore because we already took care of all of that. Now we have a new parameter in here called jobs, new jobs like this. Okay, what are the jobs that we want to build or we want to kick off? We have one job, which is just the build. And inside that build, we want to kick off a bunch of things, right? So watch this. Build equal new build job. And inside that build job, I get to choose which VM my code is going to be running on. So when you're running your code, you're pulling in an agent. And this agent can be anything out of operating system, right? So in here, I'm going to go and say build machines dot Windows latest. So this is me saying, in order for you to build this, I want the latest version of Windows. And then here's a bunch of steps that I want to take when I pull this Windows. So think about this in terms of a it has to be logical steps for you. You have to think of it in terms of logical steps. So here's a list of GitHub tasks. These are predefined and we take care of them underneath. In fact, actually, I'd like to think of A.NET as the very first SPAL application that we built because it's truly abstracting away what's happening underneath and having people focusing on this, set of tasks or set of things that we're working on. Okay, Imagine this, you got a new machine, you got a new VM. What's the first thing you want to do to test your code? The first thing you want to pull that code down, right? So I'm just going to go and say new checkout task v2, and I'm just going to give it a name, right? Pulling code.
Can you scroll up a little bit,
Yeah,
Hassan?
yeah,
Yep.
go ahead.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh, like this?
yeah,
Oh,
because
because our faces are getting on the way. I'm sorry. Can I move this to the right? Oh, we can't move. I can't move us to anywhere. I can switch roles like this, but I can't move us. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Okay, so there's that part, right? And then okay, so I want to pull in the code. Number two things, this machine that you just pulled in, this VM that you just pulled in, doesn't have .NET installed on it. So we need to install .NET on it. So here, sit up, sit up, set up .NET task, set up .NET task v1. So this is me basically going and saying installing .NET. So which .NET do we want to install? Aha, so target version, new target version. And this is the piece where you have to go and say .NET version equals, I don't know, what's the version that we have now? Or how do you know the
7.
version?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't just write 7 because it's not just 7. It's
It's
always something else. So how do you find the actual right name for the version? Let me show you. Download .NET. So look, this is where you get the version. If you go to all .NET 7 downloads, do you see that little number in here? That's the number that I care about.
mm-hmm.
So 7.0201. It's never just 7.0. It's always because the engineering team is working on it. And some people like to put an up carrot. They say, oh, every time there's a new version, just go get it. Very dangerous. It could break your pipelines and you're going to spin in circles, wondering what happened. Everything is just the same. Well, you pulled the latest of .NET, and you didn't really be careful with the work that's in there. Okay, let's go back to our code. Here's our code. And I'm just going to put this number here. Okay, so far so good, no problem there. If the version that you're playing with, if and only if, the version that you're playing with is not final, make sure you do include final release equal true. Otherwise, you don't need it. In our case here, because .NET 7 is final, we don't have to worry about it. Okay, after you've installed .NET, what should you do? You should basically go and say, I need to restore the libraries because we have some libraries, right? So I need to go here and say, I want to restore the libraries. It's already doing the work for you. For the most part, I'm just saying, oh, give it a name. So restoring .NET packages like this. Okay, so we pulled the code, installed .NET, restored the packages. Now what? Now I want to go here and say new .NET build task, .NET build task. And this here, just me going and saying
Scroll up
building.
again. Sorry.
Oh, yep. Building solution. I'm building the solution. Now that all of that is said and done, let's go ahead and actually run the test. So test task, right? And then I'm basically going and saying running tests. What do you think about that? Pretty cool, right? Now all of this C# code can get generated into a YAML file. All of that can get generated into a YAML file. And once we generate that code into a YAML file, it's all good and dandy from there, because that basically means that you're not really dealing with YAML ever again. You're completely and utterly independent from YAML, right? Let's see. Why can't we just use build task directly? Because build task automatically restore packages for us. We can skip one step altogether. I don't know. Is that true? Like just build task does it automatically? Let's skip it. I'm gonna skip it for you just so we can try it out. So I'm gonna take this one out and we're gonna see together. Okay. Now, what's the last thing we need to do? This one is, it could use a little bit of improvement, but we basically need to go and say, this the a.NET client that we have.
Scroll
Oh yeah.
again. Sorry.
Yep. And I
Sorry
need
to
to
be a
zoom out.
pain.
No, 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 you're fine. You're fine. Thank you for doing this. That's why I wanted you to join me in this because I'm not. So this guy this guy's gonna serialize all of this, take that GitHub pipeline that we built, and generate that YAML file for us, whatever it's supposed to be. Ideally, in our solution here, I'm gonna take a wild guess. I'm gonna go in our solution. If I switch back into a folder mode, so here's your solution. So that's one step. And then you have all of that. So you have a bunch of steps. You're stepping out from the infrastructure one, from the project one, and then you're going in a, yeah, let's do it this way. So like this, so this two steps, I think, and then you're going back into .github. This is the one that we're gonna get wrong multiple times. So we'll see workflows and then .NET.YAML.
I always copy this from your repos.
Yeah, you just copy that. You know what? I'll just do the same. I'll just copy it. I think that's a great idea. And also just best practices for people. Don't just leave random values sitting like this. Add some arguments. Like if you don't
Scroll,
need it.
scroll up again. Sorry, Hassan.
Yeah. So what is Bandari says? Yeah, build and publish task implicitly. So okay, well let's do that. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. We'll try it out. Try it out, and it's mostly kind of show off of what we can do versus anything else. But this is great. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. Let's go ahead and create a new branch. Users, Hassan, Habib, infrastructure, initialize pipeline. So now we're initializing the pipeline. And how do we do this? Continue checkout. Yes, yes. How do we do this? If you just run this program, it'll generate that stuff for you. So that's really all you need to do, just to run that program, right? So here's my infrastructure build. Let me just make sure everything is building. Ooh, we have an error. Let's see what that is. The namespace .NET. Let's see. Also, I think my project is completely freaking out. Hold on. Let me close this. See, kids, that's what happened when you do the preview stuff. It's crazy. Actually, this one is not even preview. This is final because preview has like a little mark next to it, right? Okay. Cannot access disposed object. Yeah, it barfed out. Let's see what's going on. All right, time to kill it. Control Shift Escape. And let's close Visual Studio. Here we go. Okay, now it's dead. Great. Let's do this.
It's probably my fault from starting with dots with 6.
No, don't say that. Oh, brother, you're just fine. Okay, here it is. Let's go back. The one thing about this is that you do something, long enough and, enough times, it's okay. You can go like this and basically say, hey, here's what I have. It's broken. What a shame. And let's fix it together. So what is this guy complaining? Could not be found. I thought I installed the library. Let's see here. Edit project, .NET 7. Oh, it didn't. It
You
did
put it
not.
in. Did you put it in the wrong solution?
Possible. Very possible. We'll see in the pull request. But wait, if that's true, why did it autocomplete for me? Right? No,
Mm,
I think I put it in the right place. I'm not that crazy. I am crazy, but I'm not that crazy. Not that crazy.
I don't know. We saw Entity Framework references in another project.
Okay, so this guy's building great. Let's run this. So I'm gonna run this project. Okay, I'm gonna show off in here. I'm gonna go into project manager. I'm gonna pick up my infrastructure. I'm gonna say .NET run .NET run dash dash pro. I know you can't see, so project. Come on, help me out. And infrastructure build / CS proj, something like that. Ooh, look at that. Could not find part of the path because the path is not there yet. So what do we do with that? We want to generate just a dummy GitHub one. So let me just do this. Let me go here and say infra initialize pipeline like this. And then I'm gonna go here and just kind of generate one for us that I honestly don't care about. Like it's not necessarily the right one, but I need to generate one for us. So let's go here and I'm gonna go to OpenAI.
I normally just create the folder.
You just create the folder, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Do you create it at the top level? Where do you create it?
I think I created at the root. Yes. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna do that too. Let's do that. Yeah, that's much better, I think, Brian. Let's do that. So here's the folder. Let's do that. And then let's go here and say new is it dot GitHub like this? And then inside this guy, there's
I'm just
something called,
opening. I'm opening a solution just to check.
yep, there. And now I'm gonna go back and create that, or just run the project really. Here we go. Come on, you can do it. So now it's just the pointing out of where the project is,
You got
right? And I think I overkilled. I think I jumped too many times. I think it's maybe here like this. I wish there was like a nice way to navigate. Just see this one. Not find part of the path. Let's see. You step out one. Let's see where we are, where it's executing from, and how many jumps it needs to make, and that would be it. Let's go here. So here, this would be. So we are in the build area, in the bin folder, in the debug, I need another jump. That's what it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to here. So this is 4. Okay, we need 4 jumps or 5 jumps. That's what it is. Let's go back here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this, I think. No? Hmm. And also it says could not be part of the path C whatever. So maybe because I'm executing it from the pipe from the command line, it's doing something funny with the binary. You think that's what it is?
Yeah, because you're executing it, because you're using a relative path, it would have affect. Mm-hmm.
Let me just run it. I'll take 1 out, and then I'm gonna run again. I'm also wondering if, oh yeah, that worked. See, it's just 1 jump.
Mm-hmm.
So now look at this. If you look at, if I go back into the normal view, check this out, everyone. If I go here and I go inside GitHub workflows and look at this YAML, look, I have this all generated for me. How pretty is that? Pretty good, right? So let's do that. I'm gonna go here and say infra generate YAML file. So now when I push this to be a pull request, it will kick off that build for me. And that's the beautiful part about this. Let's go back here, open the solution. Here's a pull request. Ryan, we're almost done. We initialized the whole project. How cool is
Mm-hmm.
that?
We need to show the users how it works.
Yes. So infra initialize pipeline. And I completely see you tried to kind of entertain with the Z. I completely butchered it. I just typed something completely crazy. Okay, hopefully it can pick up something from here. There it is. Watch this. Do you see it? Haha. See? So now it's picking up now a pipeline and it's gonna run the tests. How cool is that? A little action in there here. Let's just hope it works. I don't know. They changed the APIs on it. I haven't touched this library in a long time. They have to. They have to maintain backwards compatibility. So,
Mm-hmm.
Brian, I'm going to hide both of us here for a second, just so people see. So, look, all these little steps, pulling code, installing .NET, installing .NET here, building solution, all of these things are now coming. I didn't write one YAML, one line of YAML. I didn't do any of it. It's all C sharp, right? I mean, we could always improve on the whole finding the path thing. That would piss off a couple of engineers, but I think that's pretty neat. All right, I'll put us on the side now just because it's it's preventing me for it's getting on top of the screen just for now.
Hmm.
Now let's find out the truth. Bandari, do you think it's gonna pull the libraries? Is that what you're saying? Let's see. Building solution. Oh, you're not kidding. It's restoring. See this brother here right there. That's
Thank you, sir. Oops, what do we got here?
what happened? Error uh project assets.json not found. Look, run NuGet package restore. That's the problem. Look, because we didn't do restore. And Bandari, I think you're not wrong. I think it's restoring at the GAC level or the VM level. Anyway, it's an easy fix though. I think we know how to fix it, right? Let's go back here. Solution. And what do we do here? We need the, so it was before the build, right? We basically went and said new restore task. Name restoring packages. Now if I have this in there and I run this guy, or did I run it from the command line? That's right. I'm gonna run it from here. All done. And I'm gonna go and say infra add restore task. Maybe library adds that no restore flag automatically. Possibly. Possibly. Yeah, that's probably why. I see what he's saying. No, he's right. It's probably adding no restore flag to kind of separate the restore from whatever. It's also possible. Okay, let's come back here and here's a new kick. But this time it's gonna have a restore in it and hopefully it'll work. No, I know it. I know writing the .NET build automatically does it. I don't know, man. It's well, when you're doing a pipeline, is it the VM level? No, you're not wrong. Maybe I should investigate this. I'll investigate it. Maybe the no flag, the no restore flag is the reason why this is happening. I wouldn't know. We'll find out. You know what's the biggest mistake I made today? I forgot to get my water and tea. I can't go an hour and a half without water and tea, Brian. It's just.
Yeah, I'm drinking cold coffee.
Let's see if this .NET Restore will fail. No, see, it worked. So now the build should work, I think. Let's do it. Oh, while it's doing that, just for the people who are interested, if you want to see this project that we're building in real time, not this one, take a look at this. Probably some people are wondering, where is this at? I want to see this happening in real time. Here's the link to this project. It's open source. It's not private. It should be, it should be available. Okay, building solution. Let's go. Takes a second, especially if you're on the free tier. Takes a second. I honestly don't even know if I'm on the free tier. So, here we go. There you go. Running tests, pass, pass. Posting, polling code, done. How beautiful is that? Did we write any YAML today? We didn't touch YAML. It's all C sharp. Front end, back end, middleware, embedded systems, whatever you're going to build, it's all C sharp. So now every pull request we're going to create, it's going to have that really nice little check mark right next to it that says, hey, actually this passed the build. So if
So
you
can
look,
we build into with ADO net? Can we build in the push to NuGet?
I wonder. That's a question for Sam Shoot, the guy with the. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
he's doing it himself.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's also has to have like a human engagement because you can't publish if you release and publish automatically. How crazy would that be? I think, you know what, Brian, we should probably do it. We should do it. Okay. Oh, I forgot to say close this task. Phew. Fine. Let's close this. Initialize pipeline project. So what happens when you forget? Easy. Go to infrastructure pipeline, take this and just remediate this error by just going to the issues, go to initialize and just say close. This is the PR for this issue. You'll make mistakes. That's okay. Close with this comment. Okay, Brian, your turn. This last one, very straightforward. Just like the unit test, we need an acceptance test, something that talks from the outside,
Mm-hmm.
and goes in. And, for the people watching, you're going to see as we're building acceptance tests for this, I'm going to introduce you to WireMock. And WireMock pretends that there's an API out there, but there isn't. And then we may build another project called integration test that actually truly talks to the API of ChatGPT. So these are three different levels, and we'll talk about those in detail soon. Okay, Brian, let's go back to main. Let's finish this party. I need to add a little bit of documentation. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. Okay, so you have your unit test, you have your build project, you have your core project. Now we just need to create another project called OpenAI.net tests.acceptance. No. In here you want to do users slash Brian L. Parker
Oh,
slash
yeah.
infrastructure.
Yep.
Okay, too many rules. Way too many
Yep.
rules. Oh, just initialize acceptance test. Dash test. So this acceptance test is the one that actually hits the client, and it will take us a while to get there, but we'll get there. Let's go. Okay, sir. Almost for this one, because it's a library, right? It's identical to the unit test. There's no difference
Yep.
there. And then as needed, we're gonna need to kind of add in, certain libraries and certain components as needed.
What do we call it?
OpenAI and then
Uh,
.NET all uppercase and then dot tests dot acceptance. Let's go. You're gonna have to go to 7. Sorry, Brian. Just just for Bandari, just to make Bandari happy with the records and all that. And do me a favor, Brian. We're gonna need a code drop to add copyrights. I don't think I added copyrights on top of my infrastructure project, but we can do that
yeah.
later as well.
Yep.
If anyone in the people watching us want to kind of get themselves their hands dirty with open source, go into this project right now, clone it, and add the copyright on this program CS file that I created. That will be your very first contribution to your project. Super simple, no coding skills required. Oh,
Why have I
not
got
me.
to
Sorry, I
depend?
think Chowdhury. Chowdhury is the one that wants the record. Sorry. Okay, so in here,
Why?
really just something that should be true, the exact same thing for now.
Just a little bit worried. Got an exclamation mark there.
Do a rebuild, see what happens.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bandari. You've asked too many questions, and now I'm just like my brain is set. You're the one who said everything. Okay, here we go.
Waiting for the build.
You know what would be nice, Brian? If you didn't live halfway across the planet, so you and I, after this session, we just go out for a walk and drink some tea. That would be great.
It's. I'd rather do it here. It's nice and warm here.
Sure, in Australia, yeah, absolutely. So it is summer for you and winter for me, right?
Yeah, that's right. Today it got up to 28 degrees Celsius here, so it wasn't too bad. We've had hotter. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Crazy business.
Still, it's
The,
the
o-
build
the
has.
the other option you have is to kind of unload the project, and I think your Visual Studio instance also hung up just the same way as me. If you close it, does it go?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
There you
You've
go.
killed it.
Yeah, we built a virus. That's what we built. All right, since you're doing this on the side, I'll just go and put us both down there. Okay, sir.
I'm just trying to get this to close. It won't.
It's 40 degrees here, though. Bandari, where you at?
Task manager.
Is it completely hung? Completely.
Yeah, I can't get it to kill.
Darn it. Kill it. Control Shift Escape. Oh, Bandari's in India. It's 40 degrees over there.
Oh,
Wow.
mate, that
Yeah.
must be hot.
Yeah, that's a little hot. It's a little hot.
That's very hot.
Yeah.
Okay, that killed it.
I don't even know what. Oh, for us here is 40 Fahrenheit, which is what's 40 Fahrenheit to Celsius? Because we have to use our freedom metrics. It's 4 degrees in here. 4 Celsius. Yikes. Okay, Brian, you're still with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah, I can hear you. Open up the
Hello.
solution. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
There's a little
my
delay. You're
machine's
kind of
lagging out today. When I'm,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm finding when I'm opening Visual Studio today, my machine's lagging out. I don't know what's going on. So,
Okay. Here we go. So Brian, we need a delete me file and a delete me class, and we need to get rid of that usings, just like the unit test.
yep. I was just making sure those errors disappeared, and they did. I probably could
Yes,
have just unloaded the particular project, which probably
that
would have
works.
been a lot quicker.
That works too. I'll create an issue here, say code rub, add copyrights, notice on program CS and infrastructure. App, free for grab. Anyone watching us, if you want to go ahead, literally just a copyright on top will be greatly appreciated. Okay. Your references.
What do we call the other one?
Oh, should be true. You just write
Yeah,
should be true. You can just copy it. I'm okay with that.
yeah.
Okay. So you wanna add copyrights on top of that, and then I think that should be it.
Just making sure the test runs. Sorry.
Nice. You're fine.
Steal that copyright. We happy with that?
Yep. Yes, sir. Let's commit it and push it, and let's call it a night or a day for you.
Hmm.
So infra initialize acceptance project, acceptance test project. And then at some point in time, we're going to add the integration. Maybe next session, throw integration in there, to see if it's actually running end to end. It will be a great excuse to kind of talk to people about how you save secrets in the pipelines, for a certain project, how you save these secrets, how do you um, pull these secrets in your pipeline in the run, how do you run the end to end? Because of course, if you're working with OpenAI, you're going to have a lot of these secrets that you want to save for organization ID or key, whatever the case may be. Okay, sir, let's create a pull request. And don't forget the reference of the issue. So you're gonna have to say closes and then give it the
Yep.
cool. So that is acceptance.
Where is?
Oh, did I not type infrastructure pipeline unit tests? Did I write unit test twice? Hold on, let me check the issues. No, 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 there's acceptances. Just do hash and type acceptance. It'll search for you. No, 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 after the hash right away. Yep, yep. Acceptance. Keep going.
I can't.
ACC. There it is.
Yep.
Nice. So it searches too. Sweet. Cool. I'll take it from here. Let's go to this project and let's go to the pull requests and it should kick off the build, which is great. We have a build and it runs. It's great. Once this build passes, what's the next step for us? The next step for us is to basically go and say, and this is, we're almost wrapping up in here. I hope, people watching are kind of learned something today. This is how we kind of kick off a new project from nothing, just from the ground up, boom. And you have a properly engineered, standardized project. It has all the components that you need. We built the infrastructure. Day one is always infrastructure day. You set up the world so everyone is happy and they can push code towards your project and all that. But then the next session, we will be able to of course, we'll invite more people from the community. Brian is going to be with us and so many people. And again, if you haven't seen the link from earlier, please, join the standard community. Look what we talk about. Look what we have to say. There's a whole bunch of engineers from all over the world, coming together to talk about how to build really, truly proper systems that we can use and rely on, especially like these systems, especially a library like this for OpenAI. I know someone is going to take it and go build something really critical that could kind of, be in a medical field or, turbo machinery, whatever the case may be, something that could cause someone harm if it malfunctions. And we want to make sure we do our due diligence to the absolute best to make sure that the library is working as expected, not just rush something out to get a couple of clicks and downloads. That's not really what we're going for here. Um, Go
Well,
ahead,
yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, we tend to like code that we don't have to hear about. Um, yeah, we
Nice.
like.
I like
Yeah,
that.
I like to think the code we write is silent. We,
I
people
love
people that.
that. I never heard that before. I like to write code that I don't want to hear about again. It's silent. Oh my God. Unless we're adding features, but this is good. This is deep. Damn, that's great. Okay, so what's gonna happen in the next session? The next session, we're gonna start kind of building brokers. We're gonna talk about design and architecture, right? How every project works. We're gonna, do a design architecture. What are the brokers that we need to build to be able to communicate with OpenAI? What are the functionalities that we want to implement? There will be foundation services. And to be honest with you, Brian, come to think of it, I think we're gonna need multiple foundation services because the contracts are different. The
Yep.
contracts are different. So we're going to need multiple brokers, multiple foundation services. We're going to talk about all of that later. And as we, again, you have the Discord channel. If you also want to, to kind of go back and say, what are these guys talking about? what are the principles and standards they're working on, please go ahead and get your free copy of the standard right there, on the screen. The last thing is just to kind of merge this and call it a day. Let's go here.
Yep.
Yes, Brian. What were you going to say, Brian?
I was just saying, our next session, we've got a great pool of really clever engineers we can pull into this. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, just wait. So a lot of them are gonna get mad at us because we have a whole bunch of really loud engineers over there in the UK, and and we have a bunch here in the US, and we have a bunch of others in Europe and Germany, and all of them are asleep at this point in time. I don't even know what time is it over there. It's probably really late time in UK. Yeah, it's 5 in the morning. Yeah. What about Germany? It's 6 and yeah, these folks are, they've been playing with, video games all night. They're not gonna get up at this time. But I'll try to kind of organize the schedule a little bit. And if you're part of the standard community, I'll try to find a way so you can see all the events and all the things on the calendar that you can join and be a part of. Brian, we made it. An hour and a half. Just got the whole thing out.
Live. Wow.
Live. And live. Yeah, there's that. By the way, just for everyone here to know, I literally just pinged Brian, literally 10 minutes before we started the stream, and I said to him, "Hey, you want to build a library with me?" And that's the beauty of standardization. Like we're playing by the same rules, so he'll be like, "Yeah, let's do it." I swear to God, didn't plan this, just popped in my head. We want to go build this, and now we're building it. Go check
True.
out the repository. Here's the repository in here for people watching. Here's the work that we just did. This should give you a huge advantage when you're initializing any new idea. Even if you don't want to be part of this project, go ahead and just create your own repository, and try to play around with it and see how we build the pipelines, how do we properly engineer system. And as usual, Brian, anything else from you before we wrap up?
Yeah, the next session, for all the people that are starting out, the next session is going to show some real important stuff. The structure of the project, which is pretty important to get right from the start.
Absolutely. Like whether you're a beginner or seasoned, mid-level, just watch this. You're gonna learn a lot of stuff. Thank you all so much for watching. This was a great, great first live session on the channel, and I look forward to doing more. Take care. Thank you, Brian. I
See
appreciate
you
you.
later. Bye all.